Thank you for calling Hail Mary Hotline. This is Bridget. Please hold while I transfer you.
Welcome back to Hail Mary Hotline. I'm your host, Taylor.
I'm your host, Sarah.
And for a weekend that was supposed to be kind of an off weekend, we had a couple of surprises, to say the least.
That's a good way to put it.
That is a good way to put it. Why don't we just start right off the bat? Saturday snapshots. Probably my favorite of the weekend. UCLA upset Penn State. They won 42-37.
And Penn State finally fell off the AP poll.
Praise God.
I think the SEC short did it best. You know, it's why you never say, oh, it's a quiet shift. It's a quiet weekend.
No. Although, I gotta say, winless UCLA taking down preseason number 2 ranked Penn State was not on my bingo card this weekend.
And putting up very close to the same stats was insane.
I know Drew Aller actually had like a better game on paper than Nico Yamaliava did, which is kind of shocking given what I've seen from Drew Aller. But they had really similar games. Nico just had a lot more rushing yards than Aller did.
It's crazy to think about just Nico Yamaliava putting up all of these incredible great numbers for him, and then Drew Aller coming out and doing close to the exact same thing and losing.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. They'll live.
They will.
Their ego could use a bruise.
Oh, it could use a little bit more than that, but that's okay. But James Franklin still only has 1 win over top 10 teams in his career, so...
Fire Franklin.
Fire Franklin. It's about time. Yeah. His current buyout is $56 million.
Somebody's got to win the lottery at Penn State and use it for his buyout.
Somebody needs to go find that lady in Alabama who said that if she won the lottery, she would buy out Kalen DeBoer and just do the same thing at Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, if they wait a year, his buyout goes down to only $48 million. So, you know.
Only.
That's still double Billy Napier's.
Yeah.
That's wild.
The coaches this season are, I think, like none we've seen in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Just the kind of issues that we're having.
Yeah. Just some things that I didn't expect to happen, but I'm not really complaining that they're happening. This being one of them. But, I mean, Nico had 16 carries for 128 rushing yards.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And Drew Aller only had 11 carries for 78 yards.
Yeah. It's 50 more yards of offense.
Yeah, and I mean, they both put up a crazy amount of total yards.
Oh, yeah.
Penn State had 357 compared to UCLA's 435. I didn't even know that UCLA had the potential to put up more than 100 yards based on their previous 4 games. But, you know, miracles happen.
Good for them, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah. But Penn State did have 3 fumbles, though. They only lost 1 of them, but still, 3 fumbles? For a team that's supposed to be, like, one of the top teams in the nation, and you can't hold on to the ball?
Things like that. They also had a turnover, and UCLA didn't.
Yeah. Which, great for them.
I know. They were pretty close in penalties. Penn State had 6 for 43 yards, and UCLA had 5 for 35, which isn't honestly too bad with what we've been seeing recently penalty-wise. I'm seeing a lot more games have 7, 8, 9 penalties and not, you know, 2 or 3 from your elite teams, I say in air quotes, mind you.
Yeah.
And then first downs at 21 and 22. So they played a roughly similar game.
Yeah.
Which is atrocious if you're Penn State, who I get is coming off of a loss from Oregon, and it's got to be a lot of jet lag going to California. But
however, I feel as though that should motivate you more because, you know, you look at Georgia this week, and they, after getting a pretty good beating by Alabama the week before, came out and took care of business against Kentucky. Usually when you lose a big game like that, that is what happens. And, like, after Alabama lost to Florida State earlier this season, the next week they came out and put 70 on, who was it? UL Monroe? Like, somebody like that. That's what you do after you lose a game you're not supposed to lose.
You burn off some steam, you beat the brakes off the little guy, you know.
Yeah.
Move on with the rest of your season, not see the smallest game you can lose.
My favorite, I think, was seeing somebody on Instagram said Franklin was tired of hearing everybody say that he only loses the big games, so he went and lost a small game to prove everybody wrong.
Everybody's reposts and reactions to that has been so funny this week. A little side note from UCLA and Penn State, there really is not a ton else to talk about with them, except for their interim coach, who played 11 years ago and threw some game-saving pass as a quarterback and was carried out by UCLA players, did the same exact thing on Saturday.
It was his first time ever calling plays, too. Against one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, what a first game.
Yeah, and against, like, the highest-paying defensive coordinator in the country.
I saw that, too, yeah.
And pulled out such a big win for UCLA. Yeah. So that was sent to us by a couple of different people, and just wanted to make sure that we do
touch on that, because that is really cool.
Yeah, make sure that we celebrate UCLA in that way, especially with all of the coaching issues that they have had. Like,
we don't want to like undersell how big of a victory this was for UCLA. Credit where credit is due. This was a huge win for that program.
And I guess moving on to some of our other games, Miami beating Florida State 28-22. Miami.
I was really a Florida State believer this game. I was really hoping, but it really wasn't even as close as the score. Florida State tried to come back there in the fourth quarter, but it didn't matter.
I mean, they were up 3-0 for like 4 minutes. When the game first started.
Yeah.
They still played and held Miami to 28.
They did.
Were only 6 points away. I think that's a quality loss for FSU, and I mean, it still shows that they lost because of how far they dropped, and yes, because that's what happens when you lose to the number 2 team in the country.
And to unranked Virginia the week before, like,
that really just hurt them.
Yeah. But, I mean, they played a good game. It just, unfortunately, Miami is the real deal this year. I worry about facing them in the playoffs if Georgia makes it that far.
Definitely.
For more reasons than one. But, anyway.
Not there yet.
No. Another disappointment this weekend. Bama beat Vandy.
Vanderbilt did hold their own really well for the first half of that game.
They looked great the first quarter, but that fumble by Pavia in the red zone just killed them.
Ruined it.
It did.
Absolutely ruined it.
They would have been up 14-0 at that point, and that would have been huge.
I mean, they had multiple turnovers in the red zone, which is the reason that they lost.
Yes.
And it got really hard to watch.
It did. It really did. And I mean, it was in Tuscaloosa. I realistically didn't expect Vandy to win that game just because Bama put everything into making sure that they won that game this year.
Oh, yeah.
And, being in Bryant-Denny, it was going to be really hard for them to win that game on the road, but still.
They had 3 turnovers.
You can't do that. Not against Alabama.
It was... Vanderbilt still played really well against this Alabama for being Vanderbilt, but it's just, oh my gosh, like, and once you finally look at it all, that second half ripped them to shreds.
Yeah.
But hopefully Vandy will come back one week this season.
I hope so. They're still ranked. For top 20.
For another week at least.
Yeah. We shall see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, everybody pray for Vandy's comeback.
Amen.
The SEC needs it.
We need our sweet baby boy Diego back.
Yeah. The fans need it.
Yes. Moving on, I guess. Clemson killed UNC.
Good for Clemson to win a game. I think they need it.
At what point do we ask the question of Belichick's job security?
For all of his off-season talk about him doing what he was going to do with UNC, none of it is being fulfilled right now.
It's hard to watch. I don't understand how someone like wow. Too many thoughts, not enough words. I understand that the NFL and college football are not the same, and it can be really hard to translate one to the other and to go back and forth. But for somebody to have had a career like he had in the NFL, I don't understand how UNC can be so bad.
I think we talked preseason a lot about the 70-player cut, and how many new people were coming in and how hard it is to build such a good team in, 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
When they got a lot of those players after spring practice started and expect an elite team to just come out of nowhere.
I think a lot went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe UNC keeps him around for another year or two, and if things don't improve, then maybe they get rid of him. But I mean, there's a lot of external factors, but I think some of it definitely has to do with him and his coaching style.
And I think that this gets to be a building year because of, the kind of clean slate mentality that they had going into him coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he definitely does get a little bit of grace from, transferring from such an, immaculate NFL career and everything that he was able to do to then come to college football and expect it all to happen overnight. I think is a little extreme.
Yeah.
But I think everybody just overall, maybe not to the caliber of the NFL, but was expecting just a little bit more, like a little higher scores, not as wide gaps in scoring when it came to games. Expected a little bit more from, their defense being able to actually hold themselves together and look like a defense when they play, from their quarterback to actually be able to make those throws. I know he's had some injuries, and we talked about that going into the season, but still, I think nobody knew exactly what to expect, but it just wasn't this.
No, not this. Because I remember at the end of last season, we talked about how we expected North Carolina to at least be like in the conversation, maybe, lower end of the top 25 consistently, but this is not at all what I thought UNC season was going to look like.
Mm-mm.
Another team that I don't think anybody expected their season to look like this. So the Dead Gators themselves, Florida beat Texas 29-21.
Oh my gosh.
A lot's going wrong down in Austin.
Oh yeah.
Where do we start? Because there's a little bit to unpack with this one.
Yeah. 10 penalties is probably a good place to start, and that's where, I mentioned we've been seeing higher penalized games.
Texas is consistent too with the high penalty games.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it was them earlier this season that had the triple digit penalty yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all in execution is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Manning aside, a lot of Texas's issues, I and your little giggle says it all, because it's hard to look at Texas as more than just how poorly Manning is doing. And I will say I'm 100% at fault. I'm definitely not doing a very good job at trying to look at Texas as a whole.
It's really difficult.
Yeah. Especially when they were number one preseason. He was a Heisman frontrunner preseason. All anybody ever talked about was how he was going to go in and do all these drastic things, how nobody saw enough of him last season. And this is where I would like to insert our formal apology to Coach Sark for ever asking to put Manning over Ewers.
Because we were definitely on that train last year. And formal apology. We are very sorry. We understand.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get there.
But with the team as a whole, I think it comes down to execution. It comes down to working out the little kinks. It comes down to communication, making sure that you don't miss assignments. I mean, the same thing that we've been saying about Georgia's offense and defense.
Yeah.
It just, the little kinks and things, which I think we were able to work out some of this week, and we'll get to that in our little Bulldog brief, but just, it's adding up.
I think that's the difference between Georgia and Texas, because both teams have new quarterbacks who are relatively inexperienced, and, maybe some younger teams losing a lot in the offseason. But I think the biggest difference is that Georgia has been able to make the adjustments and find a way to win those the one big game.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't win the other one. Still upset about that. But it's just they're able to do a better job of adjusting to the situation around them and find a way to execute and make those big plays when they need to. And Texas has not been able to do that.
Mm-mm. And even with Georgia, as you'll see and we'll say, it's not like a play-to-play kind of adjustment like we need it to be, but it's a game-to-game adjustment, which makes all of the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
Like, Kentucky was an adjustment game, and I think we smoothed out a lot of kinks in our offense, and that's just one of the things that you're not seeing with Texas, because Florida was supposed to be an adjustment game.
Mm-hmm.
Texas was supposed to get their act together and beat Florida and figure out, how to fix what's going wrong before they get to some other opponents, and that's just not what happened.
This was their chance to prove that even though they lost to Ohio State in their first game, and even though they've been running over some of these cupcake games, that they are still a good team and that they deserve to be in the conversation. And I think the exact opposite happened. And I saw something, I think I sent it to you. The number 1, 2, and 4 preseason teams, which was Texas, Penn State, and Clemson, are a combined 8-7 through this point in this season.
And all are off the AP poll.
Yep.
In the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
I mean, I think the silence speaks for itself. Yeah, I have no idea. I think the moral of the story from this game, more than anything, is that Billy Napier lives to see another week.
That he does. I saw, it popped up on my Instagram. It was Florida fans saying, "I've won, but at what cost?" Because we have to keep Billy Napier for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but let's bring up the elephant in the room, I guess. Manning was 16 for 29, 55%. He still threw for 263 yards, but he also threw for 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Both teams had 2 turnovers, but those 2 turnovers for Texas really bit them in the butt.
Yep.
Yeah. At what point do fans, Texas fans at least, but does everybody start asking for Matthew Caldwell to come up to the stage?
He had a 100% completion rate.
He had 1 pass.
He did, but he completed it.
For 26 yards.
His efficiency rating on CFB reference is 318.4, so.
Because of that 1 pass for 26 yards.
Yay! I'll be very interested to see, especially when they come to Athens in November, what the quarterback situation looks like.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it a few minutes before we came on to record, but how badly we wanted Texas to be a night game, and with how poorly Texas is doing, we feared that by that point we might be looking at a 3:30 noon game if they do as bad as they just did. But
I think they already released that it would be either 3:30 or 7:30, but it's going to be a 3:30.
It's going to be a 3:30 game.
It's going to be a 3:30 game. I don't really think we deserve a night game for that one.
No.
So.
No. Texas doesn't deserve a night game for that one.
No.
If they want to pay for one, I would love a night game.
But they're still favored to beat Oklahoma this weekend. What? Why?
Which is atrocious, okay?
Have you seen Oklahoma play?
In what world?
Why, what?
I
don't like that.
And yeah, while Oklahoma is brought up, really do want to send out our thoughts to the wide receiver who, just right for him and his family and for the team as, they kind of come back from that. They still went out and continued to play an incredible game.
They did.
And I do want to greatly applaud Oklahoma for what happened this weekend and how they were able to handle it, and hope that they beat the brakes off of Texas.
Please. But thoughts and prayers to that wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That was
an awful hit.
It was
and
bad.
I think that there needs to be some stadium changes after that.
They've got to put padding on that wall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how they didn't have it before, but they have got to put padding on it.
Yeah. Goodness. But moving on to our, little Bulldog brief, we'll talk about the dogs, and it will be brief because
it will. It's about how I figured it would go. We went out there and took care of business, and I mean, we only won 35-14, but it wasn't even that close.
Mm-hmm. It's not as dramatic as people are making it sound with the score. It's just not that deep.
I mean, if you were watching the game, there was never a worry.
Mm-mm.
And that should speak for itself, especially with this Georgia team that's always a little bit uncertain of like, are we really going to hold on to this one? Like, we scored more on them than we did Austin Peay. Like, let's calm down a little bit.
Let's put that out there.
Yeah. But I was much happier with the play calling. We were a little bit more creative. I liked some of the personnel choices. I mean, Chauncey Bowens, 15 carries for 70 yards. I love that number.
And Bowens is now God's gift to UGA.
I love him. He's wonderful.
We saw some better numbers from Frazier. I will definitely say I liked some of the play choices that they made with him. And I think they're getting really consistent on figuring out where Frazier needs to be for the plays to happen.
Absolutely.
7 carries for 34 yards. Not mad at all. Stockton,
Yeah.
even rushed 6 for 48.
He also went 15 for 23 for 196 yards. So, I mean, he had a great game.
Yeah, he did.
Puglisi got in there during the end, too.
Yeah,
he looked
he
pretty
did.
good, too. They let him throw.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nice when you have these games and you get to... Yeah, I'm liking some of the personnel changes that we made where you get to play around with the offense a little bit and try new things, where Bobo got to make more creative plays. And I think that, you know, there's definitely some execution fixes in practice over the last week.
Yes.
And it showed.
It did. We looked really good. Like, I felt much better about our offense going forward. And, I mean, you can say, oh, but it's just against Kentucky all you want, but just the execution, and we looked more confident as an offense.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. And going to Auburn this upcoming weekend, I'm not worried about us winning, but it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Mm-mm.
So that makes me feel a little bit better going into another SEC game that we should win.
And being an away game, I mean,
it's always a little nerve-wracking.
I mean, Auburn is a fun place to be. I really like Auburn Stadium. We have some family friends that we usually do that game with. And, I mean, it's always a good time. Auburn fans are always pretty decent. Their stadium is fun. It's hot as ever. I will say that.
I can believe that.
It's concrete jungle at Auburn, let me tell you. But, I mean, it's also just, in a way, SEC game. I'm hoping put up a lot more sacks for Jackson Arnold this week, though.
We'll see.
Contribute to our over-under a little bit.
Yes, please.
But overall, I think the Bulldogs had a really good week. I think we worked out a lot of kinks that needed to be worked out. And I think we just got to have a fun week to mess around and play with some stuff. And I'm excited for the rest of the season now.
I am too.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good season.
Yeah.
So we'll go through our little SEC rundown. So we only have 4 undefeated SEC teams, being number 4 Ole Miss, number 5 Texas A&M, number 6 Oklahoma, and number 14 Mizzou, who plays Alabama this weekend, and who I really hope beats them, if nothing else than just so Darth Mizzou can put the elephant in carbonite on SEC roll call.
Mm-hmm. If nothing else, just for the love of football and hate for Alabama.
Always
root against them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be a football weekend if you weren't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But also, applaud Texas A&M, their first 5-0 start since 2016.
And they're ranked number 5 right now. So,
I mean, good for them. Bridget's very happy.
oh yeah, Gingham
Yes.
Aggies.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
having a very good football season so far.
Yes,
and
they are.
honestly just makes me more and more excited for
To
November
go.
when we get to go.
So excited.
Mm-hmm. Which I know is a comment footnote now on
But, like,
on this show, but
anyone who loves SEC football knows that A&M is a bucket list. So,
any football fan, which most do have a stadium bucket list, College Station is very near the top. And
yes.
we are very, very excited and have some family that is very, very jealous.
Yes.
And then, you know, for our kind of little rant bit, but to talk about the AP poll and some things that have happened, because, oh my goodness.
What a week for the AP poll.
Yeah.
So, obviously we talked about it earlier, but Penn State and Texas are both not ranked. Preseason number 1 and 2. They shouldn't be after this weekend. They really shouldn't be. Penn State, again, basically has like an 8-month bye and then plays like 2 real teams. And then this, as much as we applaud UCLA, they've had such a terrible season. You really can't count that as any kind of quality loss ever.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no reason to still be ranked. They don't beat anybody, and all they do is complain about, oh, well, we're not ranked high enough. Well, play a real team. Beat Ohio State, beat Oregon, and then maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, that's where it comes to strength of schedule, and it just comes to the fact that Penn State is just not as good of a team as they think they are.
No, they're not.
And I think that the preseason AP poll, which we obviously share a lot of opinions about, and honestly think this should be either changed, done away with, new voters, new system, new something, because the preseason AP poll is...
This is a really good example of why it's stupid. I think you should take your CFP rankings from the national championship. Your national championship winner should be 1. You should go down the list based on where the top 12 finished, and then maybe go through the rest of your top 25 and leave it at that. Because until they prove otherwise, that's where they are.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody pays attention to Twitter or the internet where some of these voters share their opinions, God forbid, you see that we have some questionable voters on the AP poll.
That we do.
Yeah.
But
so, anyway. But Penn State and Texas did fall off, which I think is the biggest, upset of the AP poll. And I would also like to note that 14 through 19 moved up 5 spots because of it.
Yep.
All of them did. Which is usually not the moves that should be made on the AP poll.
You look at some of these 14 through 19 teams and kind of just sit there and think why. Or maybe not why are they in the poll, but maybe why are they that high. Like, Georgia Tech is 13, and as much as it pains me to say it, I get it. And, Missouri at 14, that also just doesn't sit right with me because, it's Mizzou. They also don't really play anybody. If you beat Alabama this weekend, then maybe we'll talk. But, Michigan at 15, I don't really think Michigan's that good. Notre Dame at 16 is kind of what gets me. Their losses are both quality losses, but still, you haven't played anybody else.
That's my only thing where, with Mizzou at least, where they're undefeated, and you do have to...
Yeah, you do.
A little bit, you have to favor undefeated teams, and it's hard to put 4-1 or 3-2 above undefeated teams. But if you're going by that logic, BYU is 5-0. So really, BYU should probably be more...
15.
Yeah, 15.
If we're going by
and
that
then
logic.
I would throw up Illinois to 16, I think. Move down Notre Dame to 17 and Michigan to 18.
I tend to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Vanderbilt's still ranked after getting beat by Alabama, which is not something I thought I would see, but I don't disagree either.
I think that's only because they were able to stay up for as long as they did and put up such a good first half and show that they could actually compete with this Alabama.
Yeah.
Which, phenomenal for Vanderbilt. And this is now their only loss. And for Alabama being ranked that high, this is definitely a quality loss.
You really can't penalize them for that one.
Mm-mm. They dropped 4 spots, but
yeah,
that's also because they're Vanderbilt and it's Alabama. They will continue to drop as the season goes, unfortunately, but they can also say that up until week 6 at least, they were in the AP poll.
Yeah. And another one that we haven't really talked a ton about, Iowa State got beat this weekend. It was their first loss of the season.
Yeah, dropped 8.
Yep. And I've seen some people on Instagram a little upset about this one. Florida State is ranked 25. I've seen a lot of people say that they shouldn't be ranked at all.
I can understand that logic. I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't think 25 is that bad.
Miami's a quality loss.
Yeah.
Virginia at the time I don't think was. But who are you going to rank above them? It ain't going to be Texas.
Well, Memphis made its way into the AP poll. Let's talk
They're
about
6-0.
Yeah. Let's talk about Memphis worming their way in.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the AP poll, I think, gets to kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah. I would also like to point out that Auburn got 1 vote for the AP poll this week.
On their bye week.
Yeah. 1 vote.
1 vote.
Which I just think is hilarious. But Texas still got 111 and Penn State still got 97.
I just don't think those voters actually watch the games.
I don't either. Which to some extent you can't watch all the games. But no.
I don't think anybody would look at Penn State losing to UCLA, even if you didn't watch that game, which chiming in was so much fun. Highly recommend to anybody who didn't watch that game to at least go look at highlights for UCLA.
Yes.
And just look at that score. Look at who UCLA is, 1-4, and then still believe that Penn State should be up there.
They shouldn't. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It just feels like excuses.
It does. And I never thought I would get to a place where I would want Ohio State to win a game, but I really hope they beat Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think they will. I don't think they're going to have any problem with that, but I really hope they do.
Just to I mean, I don't understand what Penn State keeps expecting and really wants from all of this, other than the fact that they need some personnel changes. They need to take a little bit more advantage of the transfer portal, I would like to say, because I feel like they don't. And I could just be totally wrong, but I feel like it's not utilized in some of the other conferences as it is in the SEC, or maybe it's just not as big and talked about as it is with SEC schools.
Mm-hmm.
But where I think they could benefit a lot, and I'm not just saying the quarterback, but...
Well, if I remember right, Penn State made a big deal about the fact that they had so many people returning and not going in the transfer portal, and that's not working out for them so well right now.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know what's going to happen in Penn State. I'm honestly going to sleep very well knowing that they're not in the AP poll anymore, just because I don't think they really deserved to be that high preseason or really stay up as long as they did anyway.
It's beautiful.
I feel like if they were going to be, and I understand, college football playoff, they somehow always get there, but
it's going to be hard to come back from that one.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. I think we're going to see them out of the playoffs for the next 2-3 seasons, maybe, with the way that this is going. And if they manage to come back and win their next couple of games, I still don't think that they will appear in the AP poll. At least I hope that any conscious voters don't put them in the AP poll. But I would not see them in the playoffs this season. And if I do, it's going to come back to everybody, to ESPN and everything, because nobody who lost to UCLA in week 6 should be in the playoff.
If Penn State makes it to the playoff, there will be a very angry episode that week.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll go ahead and look at this upcoming weekend. Georgia goes to Auburn. Ohio State at Illinois. I know Illinois is ranked 17. I look for Ohio State to win that game pretty easily.
Ohio State shouldn't have any issues.
No. Alabama at Missouri. Go Mizzou.
A girl can hope.
I really hope so.
Mm-hmm.
And then College Game Day is going to be at Indiana at Oregon this weekend.
Go Ducks.
Yeah. I don't know.
I picked the mascot.
In this game, I can get behind that. I love the Oregon Duck.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma at Texas, which Texas is still favored to win. I cannot understand how, but I think Oklahoma's going to win that game pretty easily.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think they'll have fun being at Texas. I know some people that have been to the Texas Stadium and they say it's just an incredible stadium to be in, and the drone show is super, super cool. I've seen so much about that. So I hope that Oklahoma beats Texas, and I look forward to it. I'm really excited to watch that game this weekend.
Yeah.
And then we have Arkansas at Tennessee. I think Tennessee beats the brakes off Arkansas, but...
Oh, I don't know. Arkansas has a way of beating Tennessee. It's in Tennessee, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but they have a way of just,
we'll see.
Finding their way to win one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
But...
And then Florida at A&M. So I think A&M takes that game pretty well.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm. And, can at least be one team in the state of Texas to beat Florida. So,
yeah. I saw something that said Texas fans might have just had their worst weekend ever because Texas lost, Oklahoma won, Texas Tech won, and Texas A&M won.
Mm-hmm. They are just the only football team in Texas right now to be struggling as much as they are.
Yeah.
Get with the program, Texas, because you're clearly dropping the ball here.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Hey, Bridget.
Hi, guys. Again, just creepy. You guys are both in sync, and it's pretty good. So nothing I feel super exciting happened this weekend besides the cougar jumping through the fire at BYU. Cosmo.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, I'd be scared in a massive suit that he's wearing. He touched the flame, as he went over. I would have been scared if it, would have caught on fire.
Maybe the mascot suit is fireproof.
Whoa.
That's got to be, an aspect they were required to have to be Cosmo, is just to be fearless because I feel like he does a lot of
He
flips
does.
and
Yes.
acrobatic things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pole vaulting over fire is definitely not on my bingo card.
I feel like he's the Oregon Duck with a little bit too much caffeine.
That's fair. That's fair. It's his super suit.
Yes.
You know, like he
Yeah.
just went to go see Edna Mode, and he said, "I want to pole vault over fire. Give me a suit that's gonna allow me to do that." And she said, "Okay, darling."
But no capes.
With no capes.
With no
Exactly.
capes.
No capes. Exactly. And I mean, I don't know. Cosmo, he seems pretty cool. He's kind of scary. He kind of terrifies me. Like, his face is kind of creepy. But
That's also kind of fair.
that's okay. I feel like lots of the mascots are going to show up in my nightmares, including the Labubu Oregon Duck. So, but I mean, on a different note, like this cute little turtle. So, apparently, Ohio State and Illinois, shout out to the Midwest, for the first time since 2017 on Saturday are going to meet again, which means the return of Illabuck. And he was first awarded in 1924. He's the second oldest trophy in the Big Ten. Originally was a live turtle, but sadly the turtle died in 1926. Rest in peace, Illabuck. 10 wooden replicas have been awarded since, and the final score is inscribed on his shell. That's really cool. I have never heard of Illabuck.
I haven't either, but I kind of want one.
I was gonna say,
Maybe
He is
we
kinda
need to.
cute.
Maybe we need to reinvent the Georgia-Florida or.
Ooh.
oh.
Can we have a gator tail?
Yeah. Pin it on the wall like the bass fish
Yes.
that talks and moves.
Yes.
Yes, no, that's actually really cool. I mean, Illabuck's cute.
He is cute.
He's just like this cute little turtle. I don't know. I like Illabuck. Maybe we should get our own Illabuck.
I think we
We
should.
should etch in like the dates that we release our podcast.
Yes.
And then pass him on to I don't know, but
It's like a family heirloom.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We will pass it. Hail Mary Hotline Harry to whoever comes after us.
It's kind of like, you know, like Spooderman is like the ripoff of Spider-Man. It's like, Harry can be the ripoff of Hairy Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I
no.
like that.
Okay, well, with that being said, I need to start looking up Hail Mary Hotline mascots online.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I can start bringing to my section.
Mhm.
It'll be like,
Mascot
he
update.
travels. Yes, he travels around wherever.
Like when you would get like a flat Stanley or something
Yeah,
in second grade,
yeah,
you had to take a picture
yes.
with it,
Yeah.
Yes.
write a little adventure in the class journal.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I like
Yes.
it. I like it. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for dialing into Hail Mary Hotline this week. And if you decide to jump over fire or find a wooden turtle, give us a call. That's pretty cool. But be safe. This is your host, Bridget.
This is your host, Taylor.
This is your host, Sarah.
Go dogs.
Go Maggies.